This is Eswatini TV News at 10. I am Notile Sitole alongside Nomaxabiso Ngambule. First up, here's a look at our headlining stories tonight. Deputy Prime Minister Senator Thuli Dladla has pledged to tackle the plight of deserted children and that of vulnerable elderly citizens. Minister for Tinkhundla Sikhumbuzo Dlamini says Parliament support will assist the ministry in accelerating service delivery. The bail hearing of a woman accused of misrepresenting to various government departments using Her Royal Highness Nkosikazi Lafokiana's name has been slated for the 28th of May 2024. Hello and thank you for staying with us. Deputy Prime Minister Senator Thuli Dladla visits 5 families of vulnerable elderly and child-headed households. She announces plans to provide these families with new homes and water tanks for clean water. Dladla expresses concern about the situation of elderly men with deserted children and assures that her office will actively seek out these children.
Mkhulu nabo bantwana kepha banyamalala nje abashayi abendini abangenela nje naye so ke naye ke mkhulu sithi sitamakhela leyo ndlu le one room yakhe simfakele ithange simfakele nawo i-toilet tasibamakhela nenzawo lapha atawuphekela khona ngoba vele buye vele kuvalwe ngehlahla lapho kunomfana lo khubatekile but akasasi umfana sona 21 weminyaka uhlala nebantwana bakubo tsatse wakhe lomkhulu lusena anebantwana naye kwakude babe kude make bashona bodwa nakhona bonke bahlala endlini yinye nayo uyamangala ukuthi kodwa bahlala njani lapha kule ndlu yinye bakhala ngekuthi kubulawa tinyoka yonke ihlobo etinyoka so cha nabo ngalokuthi ke futhi ke bona sebananangu lokhubatekile naye waka DPM ngoba siphinde sibone bona labakhubatekile sithike khona sitakwenda lo 2 room tokhona emantombazana lale ngala nalona wethu lokhubatekile akhona kulala ngala batala ukuthi bakhona phela abatali kuphamisa ucingo nje umshayeli noma kanye ngenyanga uyovela noma ke sethi inyanga letimbingi waphela timala tibonakala sikhanze ukuthi cishe bonke laba lesibavakashele ngaphandle kwakhe egule bantwana banabo kodwa ababathi ukuthi bashonaphi babalahla.
The Honourable Minister for Tinkhundla Administration and Development, Sikhumbuzo Dlamini, says Parliament support, especially the Ministry's portfolio committees, will assist the Ministry in the speedy delivery of its programs to the public in line with the Ngwe mantra. The Honourable Minister was speaking at the workshop for the House of Senate Portfolio Committee on the Ministry of Tinkhundla Administration and Development, aimed at acquainting them with the operations of the Ministry. The workshop is being held at the George Hotel in Manzini.
The one-day workshop is part of the Ministry's efforts to ensure that all stakeholders, especially legislators, are well acquainted with the responsibilities of the Ministry of Tinkhundla Administration and Development so that they could help the Ministry to deliver on its mandate. The Honourable Minister for Tinkhundla Administration and Development, Sikhumbuzo Dlamini, says Tinkhundla are the backbone of the country's development.
iParliament ke kuneParliament lensha le kunemakomiti lakhethiwe keParliament le alamatiko ngokwehlukana kwawo nathi ke sitiko etinkhundla sawathola amalunga lesitaba nawo la etinkhundleni eportfolio committee etinkhundla lokuliqiniso kufuna ukuthi sibonane sikhone ukubuka ukuthi sitawusebenza kanjani kuya embili leminyaka lesihlanu nje wasebenza kanye kanye siseke silitiko asale lithuba lokuthi sitobona eportfolio committee yethu sitoncwadzisana lokuthi sivele singayibamba njani kuya embili kuze kuthi emaswati akuthole lokulakucelile.
The chairman of the Senate Portfolio Committee on the Ministry of Tinkhundla, Prince Gogoma, says the workshop will empower them to be able to deal with all issues that pertain to the operations of the ministry.
Sitawukhona lapha lokukhulumisana ukuthi litiko ngekusetha wabo basehhovisi basetha bathi kutawusetshenzwa kubhekwephi ku-ecosystem vele lokuthi letinkhundla ngitona lekufanele sisitati siphile tona sibe ngito nje
Among many topics that are being discussed in the workshop is the decentralization bill, which is now more than 10 years in the making. Reporting, Mbongwatobe Manzini.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Honorable Polesha Kantu, has received keys to a vehicle worth 662,000 emalangeni donated by the Republic of China and Taiwan through Ambassador Jeremy Liang.
The Republic of Taiwan, through Ambassador Jeremy Liang, has handed over vehicle keys to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. When receiving the donation, Honorable Polesha Kantu says this was more than a handover, but a celebration of friendship, cooperation, and the mutual respect between the two countries.
Today, we are witnessing yet another of your many areas of cooperation where you are providing us as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with a motor vehicle that will assist our protocol department. And we wish to thank you, Your Excellency, on behalf of His Majesty's government for your support, and especially yourself, Ambassador Liang. You have continuously demonstrated visionary leadership, and you have been of great assistance to us as a ministry. So we appreciate your strong brotherhood to us as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The ambassador of the Republic of Taiwan, Jeremy Liang, says Eswatini and Taiwan share brotherhood and they're always willing to help each other when they encounter difficulties.
We will build on these existing foundations of collaborations. We would like to explore together more areas for cooperation and exchange to further consolidate the relations and between Taiwan and Eswatini.
In the past number of months, the government of Taiwan, through its ambassador, has assisted the government of Eswatini in many ways. Reporting is Seni Sozane, and visuals are from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation.
The Ministry of Education and Training has announced the postponement of the reopening of schools for the second term of the 2024 academic year. In a statement issued by the Minister for Education, Honorable Owen Ngumalo, schools will open on the 14th of May 2024 due to the fact that Thursday, the 9th of May 2024 is Ascension Day, as this is meant to minimize any inconvenience for parents and students, especially those in boarding schools. The minister assured the nation that the postponement will not affect the 2024 school calendar. The minister urges teachers and learners to use the added break time to rest well and be ready for effective teaching and learning when schools reopen on the 14th of May 2024. The woman accused of misrepresenting to various government departments using Her Royal Highness Nkosikazi Lafogiana's name wept in court when she heard that her bail application will be heard on May 28 of 2024. Tobile Mota faces 3 counts of fraud. The Crown is opposing her bail application. The matter is before High Court Judge John Makakula.
The accused person, Tobile Princess Mota, was heard saying how when she heard that her bail application will be argued in court on March 28, 2024, Mota, who was wearing a face and a hood hat, then started to cry. She was seen wiping tears from her face. She continued to cry even outside the court. Her lawyer, Sibusiso Mabuza, tried to comfort her. The lawyer informed her that the court was in recess. Normal court operations are expected to resume from May 27, 2024. Inside the court, lawyer Mabuza applied that Mota should be referred to Mawela Correctional Facility. He informed the court that Mota has been in police custody for the past 5 days. Crown Counsel Fakazi Mgomezulu said the initial plan was to transfer her after the bail application. On count 1, the charge sheet states that the accused person is guilty of the crime of fraud, in that upon or about 31st of January 2024, she did unlawful with intent to defraud, mispresent to the Ministry of Public Service that Nkosikazi Lafogiana has directed that a certain Skhumbuzo Rudolph Sugat, a Deputy Prime Minister's Office employee, be allocated a government house at Mbabane. By means of the said mispresentation, induce the said Ministry of Public Service to its prejudice to allocate the said Skhumbuzo Rudolph Sugat a house at Mbangweni area. Count 2 state that the accused person is guilty of the crime of fraud. In later upon about the 10th of March 2024, she did unlawful and with intent to defraud mispresent to the Ministry of Home Affairs Immigration Department that Nkosikazi Fokiane had directed that the accused be furnished with an international passport and did by means the said mispresentation induced the said Ministry of Home Affairs Immigration Department to its prejudice to issue her with an international passport, whereas at the time she made the aforesaid mispresentation, well knew that there were no such instructions from Nkosikazi that she was not entitled to the international passport and did hereby commit the crime. Country state that the accused is guilty of the crime of fraud, in that upon and about the 12th of April 2024, she did unlawful and with intent to defraud, mispresent to the Civil Service Commission that Nkosikazi Fokiane had directed that she be employed as an assistant immigration officer at the Ministry of Home Affairs, and did by means of said mispresentation induced the said Civil Service Commission to its prejudice to employ her as an assistant immigration officer, whereas at the time she made the aforesaid mispresentation well knew that there was no such instruction from the said Nkosikazi and did thereby commit the crime of fraud. In her bail application, she mentioned that she will plead not guilty to all the charges. She says she did not believe that the Ministries of Public Service and Ministry of Home Affairs and the Civil Service Commission can be duped into believing that one of their Royal Highness Nkosikazi will issue such directives. Motsa says the government of Eswatini has necessary system to safeguard all processes relating to the allocation of houses, issuing of passport and recruitment. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Smova Shonga High Court.
Peace and security are the key fundamentals of a growing economy. These were the words of the head of governance, peace and security at the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, Dr. Oita Etiang, when explaining the objectives of the sensitization of civil society actors and national human rights institutions on the children affected by armed conflicts workshop in the Kamesa region held at Sibanisami Hotel in Eswatini.
It is very important for economies to grow in an environment of peace, tranquility. And if you have peace at the regional level and also at the national level, it allows the factors of production to move easily, business can easily grow. And at the end of the day, the regional integration agenda can be realized.
The regional director of the Child Rights Network for Southern Africa says the youth is the future, even for businesses, hence they should be protected from armed conflicts.
If we do the right investment in children, it means the right health services, the right educational services, we would ensure that these become adults tomorrow who have the right skills, who have the right competencies, who have the right mindset and the right attitude.
Thabo Magagula, the Senior Child Protection and Migration Coordinator from Save the Children Eswatini, shares his views on the workshop by Comesa.
Conflict does not only impact children, but it also impacts in terms of the economy, because wars are wars because of some people or some entities are funding them. So it is this reason that we deem it to be important, because it's going to help in our work that we also incorporate the protection of children that are affected by conflict, even if those children do not come from within our borders.
According to the International Monetary Fund, global levels of violence are at a 30-year high, and more than 80 million people had been forcefully displaced prior to the discovery of the coronavirus. For Eswatini TV News, Nelswen Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
Eswatini Savings and Credit Cooperatives say they have measures in place to curb money laundering to ensure Eswatini stays safe from being blacklisted in trade and other avenues around the world. The president of the Eswatini Savings and Credit Cooperative Association, Winnie Vilane, says they always engage their members on the importance of complying with the laws, especially by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority.
For us, we want to ensure that we do not have Emaswati depending on one revenue stream, but we should move away from salary base and ensure that they've got other means of providing them with income. So with that, if the primary circle knows the member, then they'll be able to deal with the members. As much as members find it very difficult that it is their own thing. But in terms of compliance, compliance will ensure that stakeholders have trust on the organization, and it will ensure growth, because these are international, it's not just the kingdom, but it's an international law where we, as the country, we need to be seen upholding issues of money laundering.
Different savings and credit cooperative leaders share their views on money laundering.
Whenever we onboard a member or a client, we must know very well about that particular member. We do background check. Furthermore, we have internal risk assessment that we do internally. So whenever somebody comes and bring money, that particular person must have a source of fund declaration.
So we have an internal policy that addresses how we handle issues of money laundering. And over above that policy, we train staff on how to handle such and how to identify suspicious transactions. We also train our board of directors and our members. Over and above that, we also report to the external functions that are responsible for taking and investigating such reports.
The General Manager of the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, Zamar Dlamini, has previously said there are a number of ongoing trainings with relevant stakeholders on the anti-money laundering guidelines. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
The Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration Commission has advised businesses to have well-crafted grievance policies that provide well-structured frameworks for addressing and promoting fairness, accountability and trust within the workplace. The Acting Executive Director, Ngozi Dlamini, said this as he detailed the grievance handling and discipline workshop by the arbitration held at Sibane Sami in Ezulwini.
For a business or any other entity to thrive, there is a need for a work environment that allows employees to voice their concerns without fear of retaliation. To prevent disputes in different workplaces, the Conciliation, Mediation, Arbitration Mission has engaged different stakeholders, equipping them with skills of the workplace, as well as the importance of following labor laws.
The issue of prevention comes in as a key focus area for us as a commission, to say, how do we make people not to go to the issue of engaging in dispute handling by firstly promoting the issue of prevention. So that is the objective of this training that we're hosting today. One of the key objectives of the training that we're having today is firstly to give an overview of the national labor laws. It is very critical that as labor practitioners, HRs, senior managers, union officials, to understand that as a country we have different national labor laws that we must conform into.
Participants from different organizations say productivity is hinged on good performance. They say if they understand the laws, they will be in a better position to make the work environment favorable.
It's good to be relevant with the laws, because in the environment of employment or the workspace, we apply laws.
The training from CIMAC, ikona kusita to bridge the gaps that you find that between the employer and the employee exist in terms of procedures. Onasikhulumisa dismissals, hearings.
Since ngilophinze ngika finance kuyangisita kakhulu ngoba lokunye ngekuthi kuhandlisheke kabi ukhanza ukuthi sekubanga ukuthi sibhadale.
The Acting Executive Director of CIMAC says more trainings will be conducted to equip stakeholders, including businesses, with the right knowledge on following the right procedures when handling grievances. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
And now let's have a look at our financial indicators. News making headlines in other parts of the world. The South African Home Affairs Department has welcomed the sentencing of its employees for fraud and corruption. We have a report.
The South African Home Affairs Department has welcomed the sentencing of its employees for fraud and corruption. The employees were arrested for issuing birth certificates to undocumented foreign nationals in exchange for money. This happens after the department was blamed for spending over 400 million in the past 6 years on litigation costs. Meanwhile, in Kenya, the meteorological department in that country forecast more heavy rainfall this week. The Kenya Red Cross team responded to a distress call to save people marooned by water and trapped in their homes. It is estimated that flooding has affected over 100,000 people, destroyed crops and damaged infrastructure, schools, homes, and small businesses. Botswana says it has rejected a proposal to accept asylum seekers from the United Kingdom, an arrangement similar to the one Rwanda has agreed to. In Botswana this week, an umbrella of civil society organizations urged the government to reject proposals from the United Kingdom to send thousands of migrants to the African nation. On another note, delegates from around the world have attended a terrorism summit in Nigeria. Africa has become the world's epicenter of terrorism. Therefore, leaders at the summit hope to change that through regional cooperation and partnerships. For Eswatini TV News, Mpendulo Kumbi, visual source from France 24 VOA and DW.
Moving on to sports, the three boxers who represented the country well at the recent Mandela African Boxing Cup have been given a token of appreciation of 27,000 malangeni by the Ministry of Sports. Minister for Sports, Honorable Bonganzima, has encouraged the boxers to keep on working hard.
Three heroes from the recent Mandela African Boxing Cup being Veriso Makaya, Temalangeni Dlamini, who returned home with silver medals, and Hlanhla Dlamini, who returned home with the bronze medal, all got a chance to meet with the Minister for Sports, Honorable Bonganzima, who applauded them for their great performance.
Encourage our athletes while assuring them of government's full support. I am therefore pleased to announce that our three athletes will receive a total of 27,000 from His Majesty government.
Let me say we are so happy as an executive we have achieved.
Eswatini Boxing Association President Webster Lukele applauded His Majesty's government for the continued support towards the sport, especially supporting the 11 athletes who took part of the games.
Loko ngijabulisa kakhulu nelive liyabona lokuthi baba encourage labantwana.
Sports and Recreation Council applauded the athletes and encouraged other sporting codes to learn from the Boxing Association. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Eswatini cricket has moved up 6 positions in the latest International Cricket Council rankings, where they are now ranked 80th in the world. The Eswatini Cricket Association has expressed their excitement over the positive results, assuring the nation that they will keep on working hard.
Eswatini has moved up 6 positions in the latest International Cricket Council World T20I team rankings. Eswatini is now ranked 80th in the world out of over 92 nations in the world. According to Eswatini Cricket Association, they are thrilled to announce that Eswatini Cricket Association has made significant strides in the international cricket men's T20 team rankings. It is a remarkable achievement for the Kingdom of Eswatini, showcasing the dedication and hard work of the cricket industry in the country. In March 2024, Eswatini was positioned at number 86 in the rankings. However, with an outstanding performance in the bilateral series, Eswatini emerged victorious with a 3-2 win against Lesotho last month, demonstrating their growing powers in the world of cricket. The association says they are excited about the journey. They are set to even improve the performance of the team in the near future and the sport at large. The aspirations include further improving the rankings, also by nurturing young talent and establishing Eswatini as a formidable force in international cricket. India remains world number 1, while South Africa are number 6. Zimbabwe are positioned 12th in the world. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
That's all for now. Before I go, here's a reminder of our headlining stories tonight. Deputy Prime Minister Senator Thuli Dladla is pledged to tackle the plight of deserted children and that of vulnerable elderly citizens. Minister for Tinkhundla Skhumbuzo Dlamini says Parliament's support will assist the ministry in accelerating service delivery. The bail hearing of a woman accused of misrepresenting to various government departments using her Royal Highness Nkosikazi Lafokiana's name has been slated for the 28th of May 2024. And with that, it's a wrap. I'll leave you now with the weather update from myself and the team. Many thanks for your company. Take care.
lalela nizaba lethiwe enkosini uthokandaba emabutho akaphelele lapha esigodlweni ludzidzini mhla tingemashumi lamabili nesiphohlongo kuyo lesetulu kujuba ngeluthaka eshiselweni kujuba